incompetents, stench lookers, eaten fools, pitch black tossers, streetlight gate, gaswork filth, death trap churches, lazy sods, screeching winds, toothache, salvation hell, disconcerting tripe, bums, hedge crews, morons, bath rage, arse backwards, electric outrage, police court gauntlet, cabin angst, scandal lads, BBC rot, concrete lumps, trollops, women menace, gender benders, party paupers, unsuitable souls, unholy carry-on, milk devils, religious racket, Armageddon muddle, firm riot, the order of filth, ungrateful sods, drunken tigers, death trap trees, wailing women, thankless felines, landlord shirks, silly buggers, having macaroni and eating it, bin wars, weird hole hells, war bore, teetotal fountains, pitting and little green men. Thank you. So all of those words were complaints from this book by Nigel Cawthorne called The Disgusted of Tunbridge Wells, and that is the title of my poem. Me growing up in Tunbridge Wells, what caught my fascination was this rather impressive painted mural on the walls of the town train station. But in the 1980s, Tunbridge Wells, middle class and Tory, mine was a very, very different kind of story. My dad belonged to the Town Con Club, and what I remember most is the person looking down on me as I was eating Sunday roast. Above my head and watching me was a portrait of that year's PM, whose bill of hate, section 28, banned all gay women and men. My dad, even though he preferred the pub, came here often to play pool. Tory values upheld in the Con Club, banning gay being taught at school. A royal spa in Tunbridge Wells, but dare you drink the water? Hating queers and voting Tory will get in your bricks and mortar. My granddad, though, from Tunbridge Wells, a subversive with such wit, behind the guise of his suit and ties, his humour really bit. So many puns behind his smiles to screw the vigilantes. This famous walk called the Pantiles, he called instead the Panties. And if, my dear, like me you're queer, then go behind Toad Rock. It's where you go for toad in the hole and get yourself some cock. And dare you defy straight Tory eye who knows you like gay sex. Suburban hells is Tunbridge Wells. I got caught in its vortex. Dear London Times, the editor, or to whom it may concern, I write this letter as my endeavour for the sake your readers learn of such unabashed debauchery involving two young males holding hands they were in broad daylight right here in Tunbridge Wells. Unlike those two homosexualists referred to above in question, Beau Nash the dandy enjoyed Mel Candy, but with the uttermost discretion. We need to warn the public of men corrupting other Mels. I expect a prompt and just reply, yours, the disgusted of Tunbridge Wells. That phrase, disgusted of Tunbridge Wells, that infamous nom de plume, synonymous with my hometown Tunbridge Wells, where you go to meet your doom. This quintessential Englishman shroud himself in mystery. His legacy lives on in present times as much as it did in history. And if you think this saint of complaint has gone, then you'd be wrong. The heckling voice of Middle England proves he still lives on. The crafted moan by those at home with nothing else to do but complain about the daily filth they feel subjected to, for they survive on diatribe, Mr. Hyde, then Dr. Jekyll. They shout out loud, equality, then a homophobic heckle. In the land of the disgusted of Tunbridge Wells, in the county of rural Kent, middle-class snobs and Tory knobs hate anyone saying they're bent. The disgusted folk of Tunbridge Wells would be shaking in their bones if you dare to make the worst mistake. 2 towns, 2 homophones. Royal Tunbridge Wells with a U and Tunbridge with an O, down the road but worlds apart. In the Wells she'd be called a lady of the evening, in Tunbridge she'd be called a tart. In Tunbridge Wells at pen and ink I worked school holiday. This guy called Jason made me blink, I wished that he were gay. The chief in charge for graphic design, I had designs on him. His girlfriend though worked in payroll, so chances very slim. When in came Beryl, the tea lady, with her usual jolly face, when she asked me, coffee or tea, my dear, she saw me smiling over at Jace. Tell her I'm gay, no not today, in fact I'd never risk it. She'd spike my brew, I'm telling you, serve me poison, tea and biscuit. Everybody thinks that Beryl is this diamond hard to find. She's downright shady, this tea lady, I read what's on her mind. Well, if he's a graphic designer, he must be gay. They're all arty-farty, those gays per se. I heard that on EastEnders, Barry and Colin kissed. I'm not saying I disapprove of them, but I'm pleased it's an episode that I missed. Now, would you like a digestive with your tea, Lee, or would you prefer a cream horn? But before I could give Beryl the measure of my mind, her trolley and biscuits are gone. If one day you find you must leave behind Tunbridge Wells and all its crap, get yourself well out of this dark hell and always mind the gap. Tunbridge Wells now has its own gay pride, get out your whistles and bells, but I proudly claim my own plumed a name, the disgusting of Tunbridge Wells. Hey.